360 seconds is all that stands between one family and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I've got a stack of questions. They've got 360 seconds. Finish the game with any amount of time left on the clock and you win. But if you hit 0 at any point, sadly, you walk away empty-handed. They're in control of the time. How they spend it is up to them. Finish with 1 second left to win. Could you do it? It's the correct answer! You have completed 360 seconds. Stop your clock. You've got 116 remaining, which means you've smashed it! And you have won yourself the ultimate family day out at the Paddington Bear Experience in London. Brand new game show, 360 seconds. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search 360 seconds.
Hello and welcome to the Fun Kids Bookworms podcast. My name is Bex and I love books, and this week we've got Bettany Hughes taking us back in time to explore the lives of Roman kids. But first, we've got Alex Field's Ava Spark, Hello, I'm Here. It's all about the power of using your voice and the impact of kindness. So I'm joined right now by author Alex Field. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. I have read your very warm, uplifting, wonderful book. And I want to tell everybody in the world about Ava Spark and the new book. It's called Hello, I'm Here, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Now, tell me about Ava and tell me about her and where she is in the world.
So Ava's a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy, and she uses a communication aid to speak because she can't speak verbally herself. She's nonverbal. And it's about how she works through school with her friends and family life with all its sort of wonderful moments and upsets.
Now, this device that she uses, it's called Swifty, right? That's her Swifty. And she looks at it and that's how it kind of like communicates back with people. It speaks what she's thinking.
That's right. So it's operated by eye gaze. So she has no ability to use her hands or her arms, so she can't type. So she looks at the screen, and as she looks at a letter for a second, the computer or the device, it looks very much like a computer, registers her eye gaze, and it writes that letter up into a sort of word processor at the top of her screen. And then it comes up with word prediction as she writes a couple of letters.
It is quite an incredible piece of kit as well. And it just means that she can communicate with her friends and family and basically sort everyone out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing because my son used a communication aid, and prior to having it, he was not able to initiate any conversations. So he could nod his head for yes and turn his head for no, but he couldn't actually tell me about his day at school. He couldn't ask about things. And in the same way that Ava, when she uses this device, she's able to talk to all her friends and they are able to talk to her, and it gives her a voice in the world.
And tell us about her friends. She's got 2 perfect friends, Jack and Maya, who are... Jack, first of all, loves wheeling her around, and Maya is very good at just getting involved and loves running as well. Yes.
So with all these things, you need somebody who is going to sort of get you going, and Mia is very much one of those people. She loves sport. She's very animated. And it's through sport that everybody comes together in this book. It's through planning an event for Sports Day. Jack is a very reliable, serious friend who takes great responsibility and care in pushing Ava in her wheelchair and doesn't like to sort of go fast or do anything that might cause an accident, whereas Mia's very carefree.
Now, yeah, they plan a big sports day, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was not a sports day fan at school. That was one of the days I would try and avoid as much as possible. But in this book, they've got a reason to plan it because they've got a new girl in the school, Liv, who's come across from Australia, and it's really up to Ava to make her feel welcome. So they decide to make a bit of a celebration at Sports Day, right?
Yes. So it was really important to me in the book that Ava sort of was given responsibility for another child. So because often and historically in books, if there have been children with disabilities, they've been the ones that have been looked after and helped and cared for. And so it was important to give Ava that job of being a buddy to the new girl, Liv, who had arrived from Australia. And for me, I've lived in both places. I've lived in Australia and in the UK. So both places are very dear to me. So having Liv arrive from Australia also provided that whole thing of, you know, she's come a very long way. Her parents are still in Australia. She's arrived at this school knowing nobody. So she's very shy and very quiet.
I did read that you have, like you said, some background in living in both places. So it's nice that you've been able to bring both of them together, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also, I like when they're like, well, we need to get like a little koala, and then we'll get a yellow t-shirt for the koala and a little, and they really think it through, and they're really trying to make Liv seem welcome. And also poor Liv, because she's a little bit worried. She speaks differently as well, you know, whenever she opens her mouth and everyone like, oh, well, why do you go up at the end of your sentences? What's happened here? And she's also very nervous.
Yes. And sometimes, even though Australia, obviously, they speak English, it's the same language as us, there are words that are used that are very different. So in the book, for instance, Liv sort of says, oh, I'll put some drinks in an esky and bring them to sports day. And the children will immediately wonder what on earth an esky is and realise that it's a cooler bag. So there are little things like that in the book where I know myself with my own children, having lived in Australia and then moved to the UK, there are slightly different words that are used for different things. So that is reflected in the book as well.
Now, Ava is such a fun character, and she's really thoughtful as well. And she does admit sometimes she's like, actually, it's quite nice to pass on the responsibility of organising to other people, and she doesn't mind other people kind of like taking over a little bit. But equally, she is in charge and she knows exactly what she's doing. Has it been fun to write Ava? And do we see more of Ava in more books?
Yes, I'm writing the second book at the moment. It was a really joyful experience for me writing about Ava Spark. It was a reflection on my son's own childhood and the relationships with his siblings and with his friends and how much that meant to him. And so it was really important to me that I got that across in the book, not just for Ava, but for children generally who have a lot of distractions now. When they're communicating, and to try and get across that message where it's really important to have face-to-face communication, whatever that might be. It could be sign language, it could be using a communication aid, it could be just reading somebody's expressions, but all of those things are really important. And although children won't think particularly now that that's important, those friendships that are formed at school are for many of us some of our best and long-lasting friendships.
Yeah, the book it is about friendship and communication and also community, right? You've got lovely teachers in there as well, and some not so lovely teachers. But it's all about working together and making everybody feel kind of welcome and included. And it must have been lovely to kind of create that world.
Yes, it was a special world. Some of the characters were based on people I knew. And even some of the teachers, you know, we all have teachers that have really inspired us, and we all have teachers that slightly haven't got what we're about. And it was about finding that balance between the two in the book and really finding teachers that worked in that environment, which all of them do. And even Mrs. Hare, who I know at the start of the book is everybody's slightly down on her, but she does come good at the end.
Yeah, she gets it together.
She does.
She realises. So we're going to have more Ava Spark very soon, and I'm really excited to see that. Do you have more plans for her to carry on with her friends?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So still in a school environment, but the next one she goes away on a holiday with a couple of her friends and then comes back, and it's about what happens sort of as a result of that holiday, and there's a bit of a mystery in the next one.
Oh, we love a mystery. Oh, we're brilliant. Well, Alex, thank you so much for telling us all about Ava Sparks. Hello, I'm Here is out right now, and thank you, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to you for the next one very soon.
Thank you very much.
360 seconds is all that stands between one family and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I've got a stack of questions. They've got 360 seconds. Finish the game with any amount of time left on the clock and you win. But if you hit 0 at any point, sadly, you walk away empty-handed. They're in control of the time. How they spend it is up to them. Finish with 1 second left to win. Could you do it? It's the correct answer! You have completed 360 seconds. Stop your clock. You've got 116 remaining, which means you've smashed it! And you have won yourself the ultimate family day out at the Paddington Bear Experience in London. Brand new game show, 360 seconds. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search 360 seconds.
Big thank you to Alex Field. Now, to close the show, we've got Bettany Hughes. Now, Bettany's going to take us back in time to find out about Roman kids who might have existed in your back garden. I am joined right now by Bettany Hughes, author of There Was a Roman in Your Garden. Hello, how are you doing?
Very good. Lovely to be chatting to you.
Yes, you too. I am a bit obsessed with the Romans because I'm from Hadrian's Wall area.
Oh, lovely.
So reading this book was fascinating to me. First up, we have to explain to our listeners about the hoard that we're finding in our garden that is full of treasures.
Exactly. So the idea of the book is basically, people always say to me, how do you find history? You know, how do you discover history? And obviously people write history books sometimes, or people write records of what they did, but loads of times it's stuff that's ended up in the ground that we dig up on archaeological sites. And that can be things that people have dropped by accident, or it can be whole towns, or quite often you get these amazing things, which are brilliant for us historians, of what's called a hoard, where people have left precious objects with the idea that one day they'll come back and rescue it. And it might be that, you know, there was a fire, or there was an enemy army attacking, or they were just moving, and people literally buried things in the ground in what are called hoards. So I thought, how cool would it be to have a treasure chest hoard, and we think of all the things that a Roman child would have buried in it, so all the things that mattered to that child, and that we can unpack them one by one and discover the story of ancient Rome by doing it.
It is such a cool idea, and the stuff inside this brilliant hoard, some of them surprised me. I'm not going to lie. For example, a knit comb. I was quite surprised that would be in there.
I know. Well, it's funny. It's almost one of my favorite objects, that, because I just, whenever I'm on digs and I see ancient Roman knit combs, and I've had kids, so we've all had knits in our family. You know, the kids have had them, I've had them, my husband's had them. I've had that embarrassing thing of going to a hairdresser's and they suddenly go, "Madam, would you just like step aside for a second?" Because you suddenly discover you've got knits from your kids. So I'm very aware of what modern knit combs are like, and the ancient Roman ones are identical. And it just blows my mind that something that an ancient Roman mother would have used, or father, or, you know, somebody who looked after the children in the house to kind of get rid of knits, it's unchanged. The design is unchanged down time. So I put a slightly random one, a knit comb, in my treasure chest.
Were you quite surprised at how much we had in common? Was there one object that you were like, it's weird how similar this is?
I mean, the knit comb definitely is up there in how similar it is. But I think, you know, just that's the story. We're still the same species, you know, and we start to think the way that we think today around 100,000 years ago. So even if they were living in ancient Rome 2,000 years ago, a lot of their hopes and dreams and fears would have been very similar to all of ours. So yeah, some of those things. One of my favorites, I don't know if you saw that, is this probably the world's first pizza that was discovered in ancient Pompeii. Not as an actual bit of pizza, because that would be pretty moldy. Although I've just got to tell you, I've been in Egypt recently, and I did find a pot of ancient cheese that's about 4,000 years old. So sometimes these foods can survive. But yeah, the pizza is a painting on the wall from this town of Pompeii, which was, you'll probably know, was destroyed by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius and covered with ash. So it's actually preserved loads of bits and pieces from the town itself. And there's this beautiful painting of what looks like pizza. It's got a kind of bread base and what looks like herby cheese on top of it, and probably a nice pesto sauce. So yeah, so they were eating early versions of pizzas too.
I was going to ask you about the pizza, so thank you very much for telling me about that because I am constantly peckish, so I was very happy with that.
Oh yeah, me too.
What is your favorite thing in the book that you added in? I mean, the crocodile armor was one that I enjoyed, but was there something that you in particular were just like, this is a really cool thing to explain?
I think you're right. I think the crocodile armor, because it's so out there, isn't it? So this is, armor made of crocodile skin that we think was either worn by a Roman soldier or maybe a kind of priest in a crocodile temple. So one of these temples in ancient Egypt that worshipped crocodiles. But yeah, if you look at it, it's nuts, isn't it? Because it looks like somebody's dressing up as a crocodile. And it would have been really ferocious on the battlefield, that. So if anybody can imagine it, you've got the head and you've got the little arms, crocodile arms that would have been, you'd have put your own arms into, and then this great sort of long kind of back and almost like jacket, crocodile skin jacket. But the thing with crocodile skin is it's really, really tough. So it would have been actually would have worked brilliantly well as amazing armor. So yeah, so I think finding the crocodile armor was quite an adventure. And one of my personal favorite bits of treasure in there is the roof tile. So it's a very simple roof tile that would have been made by the ancient Romans, and a little naughty little cat has walked across it as it was still soft. So when the clay was being laid out to harden in the sun, and this cat's obviously gone, oh, that'll feel lovely underneath my paws, lovely and cooling. And then you've got this ding, 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 ding of this kind of cat walking across this, leaving its mark thousands of years later.
Yeah, I love the fact you can still see stuff like that. Is there something that you found yourself that was pretty special to you?
I mean, every time you discover something from the past, it's amazing. It's like literally like the hand of the past is reaching out to hold yours. It's so incredible. I was digging with the team last year in actually back in Turkey, also called Turkey, so modern day Turkey, which was ancient Asia Minor. And there's this beautiful, beautiful city called Aphrodisias, which is sacred to the goddess of love, Aphrodite. And as we were there, they uncovered this enormous head of Zeus, of the god Zeus, the king of the gods. I mean, just like this face staring out at us was awesome. So it can be something really tiny or something monumental like that, but the excitement never goes away.
Oh, I love it. If we've got any listeners who are thinking, I kind of want to do some digging or find something cool, how would you recommend they start? Can we go in our back garden? Can we find hoards everywhere?
Well, you might be lucky and find a hoard in your back garden. I mean, you've got to be really make sure that you've got the permission of whoever's home you're in, or if you're out in a park that you are actually allowed to dig, and just be careful because there's obviously earth can be a bit mucky, but you can find things all over the place. I mean, I was walking along the River Thames just last night, and somebody I was with found 2 Roman coins just on the shores of the River Thames, because the Romans were here in Britain as well. So yeah. So, I'd love it if people listening to this became archaeologists or historians, because basically, as a historian or an archaeologist, you're kind of traveling in time, you're a detective, and you're finding these secrets and clues every day.
It's so exciting. I remember as a kid going to Vindolanda and oh my goodness, just the things that you think of it's seen that you imagine that's happened there.
Yeah, incredible. And it's just somebody once said to me, do you mind being a historian? Because isn't it lonely? Because you're just sitting in a library working. And it's the opposite. First of all, I'm not. I'm out. I'm out in the field the whole time. But also, I just think this thing of you're living with the people of the past. They might not still be alive, but their lives matter to you. We should always respect other people's lives and show an interest in them. And the fact that they lived 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago doesn't really make any difference. They're still real people. So I adore that. I feel very like I'm never alone as a historian. I've always got these amazing people around me.
I love that so much. Oh, well, Bettany, thank you so much for telling us all about the book. There Was a Roman in Your Garden is out right now. And I'm guessing we can get it from bookshops and online and all the libraries as well.
You can get it from all bookshops online. And we actually did an audiobook as well. So if you prefer listening to it, you can download the audiobook too. So I really hope it's so lovely to chat to you. And I really, really hope people all enjoy this. I hope they enjoy reading it as much as I loved writing it.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Thank you so much, Bettany.
Lovely to chat. Bye.
Thank you to Alex Field and to Bettany Hughes for telling us all about them. If you've enjoyed this show, remember to rate, review, subscribe and follow the podcast wherever it is you get your pods from. And of course, you can drop me a line at funkidslive.com and tell me what books you're reading at the moment. I'll see you soon. Bye.
360 seconds is all that stands between one family and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I've got a stack of questions. They've got 360 seconds. Finish the game with any amount of time left on the clock and you win. But if you hit 0 at any point, sadly, you walk away empty-handed. They're in control of the time. How they spend it is up to them. Finish with 1 second left to win. Could you do it? It's the correct answer! You have completed 360 seconds. Stop your clock. You've got 116 remaining, which means you've smashed it. And you have won yourself the ultimate family day out at the Paddington Bear Experience in London. Brand new game show, 360 seconds. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search 360 seconds.